everyone. Welcome to Stock Market Today. Atkore McKinstry here with a look at the action in today's session with some more encouraging action, that is. And Ken, definitely want to get your take on potentially actionable trade ideas that we are seeing.
Yeah, we'll take a look at three stocks. BristolMyers Squibb, ticker BMY, jumped above a 65.95 entry. We'll also take a look at Atkore, ATKR, and also FMC, maker of pesticides for crops. So three interesting stocks.
Yeah, which is an encouraging sign for the market. So let's analyze current conditions by first taking a look at the Nasdaq, which finished today up about 2.1%. We also had the S&P 500 up 1.5%, the Dow up about 0.9, and the Russell 2000 up 1.6%. So pretty strong close here for the Nasdaq, and looks like we finished about 14 points below the high of February 2nd. So continuing to make strides here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we had that initial follow-through day for the Nasdaq on January 31st, a nice big percentage gain and higher volume that confirmed a new uptrend. We had a nice accumulation day yesterday for the Nasdaq, nice percentage gain and higher volume. We also had higher volume again today. So this is a compelling price action. Scanning through the Nasdaq 100, we're still seeing a lot of stocks that have really come in far off highs that are starting to rally off lows. So we don't really look at these stocks as actionable, but certainly just looking at price and volume for the Nasdaq, it definitely seems to be under some accumulation again.
Yeah, and the Nasdaq getting close to clearing that February 2nd high, but it's still got a lot of work ahead of it in terms of technical levels to clear.
Yeah, definitely. So you mentioned that that high from last week, the 200, still below the 200-day moving average. So that's going to be possibly a challenge. Also wanted to take a look at the Qs if we could, the Nasdaq 100 today, which also managed a nice percentage gain. But you can see it is bumping right up against that 200-day line where it met with some resistance recently. So these both of these indexes are still challenged, but we are starting to see, again, nice accumulation today, higher volume rally, same thing yesterday. So all in all, not too bad.
Okay, and let's take a look at the S&P 500, which is above its 200-day line and heading close to the 50-day. So it would be really great to see the S&P clear that level. If it turns tail at the 50-day line, maybe this isn't as strong of a rally as we'd hope.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly right. So the the Nasdaq, S&P 500, really kind of in the same situation. S&P 500 is above its 200-day moving average, obviously, but that 50-day line is a potential resistance level, to watch. We're seeing some decent moves. A lot of stocks outside of the technology sector. That's where a lot of the selling was concentrated in the Nasdaq. So, a lot of these stocks moving up after being knocked far off highs. A lot of these tech names are going to have overhead supply issues as they try to work their way higher, but still seeing some decent action in industry groups and sectors outside of technology.
Right, and a quick look at blue chips here. The Dow getting above its 50-day line today and its February 2nd high. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, and this is you look at it really doesn't have any sort of resistance levels to conquer here. It stormed above the 200-day moving average. It made a nice move above last week's high today, jumped above the 50-day moving average. So the Dow actually lagged today, but it it's back above the 50-day and last week's high. So pretty compelling here too.
Yeah, we'll take it. And in terms of small caps, we know that the Russell 2000 has been the laggard, and we're seeing some improvement here with a follow-through day on the Russell 2000 in Tuesday's session and following up on that strength today.
Yeah, if you look at the recent gains past 4 days or so, volume has kind of been trailing off a little bit. This is the IWM ETF that we're looking at. If you look at just the Russell 2000 chart itself, we actually did get higher volume yesterday when the index rose 1.6%, and it actually qualified as a follow-through day for the Russell 2000 yesterday. It wasn't huge volume, but it did rise from the prior session. So this is an index that's still facing some challenges here below some moving averages, and but another day of outperformance for small caps today.
Yeah. And now let's take a look at BMY BristolMyers Squibb retaking a buy point here today with a gain of about 2%. So continuing to see momentum to the upside after its recent earnings report.
Yeah, they had. I think we talked about this stock last in January, just after the J.P. Morgan healthcare conference, and they went over their pipeline and their long-term growth strategy. They also announced a big share buyback, and this is a nice breakout for the stock recently. Still in buy range from this 65.95 entry. Today, they officially announced a $5 billion accelerated share research. Repurchase program, I should say, $5 billion accelerated share repurchase program. That's part of a $15 billion multi-year share buyback. So Bristol-Myers Squibb looks pretty good here. Again, an area outside of technology that's working pretty well here, still in buy range.
Yeah, and Atkore ATKR got a lot of attention in the early going on IBD Live this morning. Let's see how it finished up the day. Pretty strong, up about 9.5%. Not only clearing an early entry, whether that was the handle or if you used that roughly 116 area, but then getting above the 118.59 buy point by the end of the day as well.
Yeah, I mean, this was a breakout that worked well all day, and we saw a lot of stocks back off highs by the close today. Even though the Nasdaq rallied pretty sharply, but Atkore just held that strong gain. We looked at that, right there, that 115. 95 pivot. We called the buy point 116.05 here. A stock that's still in buy range, and pretty interesting company. They're a provider of electrical infrastructure solutions. We got strong earnings from Enphase today, ENPH in the solar field, and Atkore. This is sort of a nascent market. They provide solar infrastructure solutions too. So not a big part of their business right now, but an area where they could see nice growth going forward.
Yeah, and a couple of other things that Atkore has going for it from a technical perspective. That volume today can, contrast this with BMY with volume up 15% today. Volume here up 150%. And also that relative strength line, looking on the weekly chart, we've got that blue dot, which indicates the relative strength at a new high. Before or as the stock is breaking out, signaling compelling outperformance versus the S&P.
Yeah, I mean, two important things to point out here, but you're right. It was it was a very powerful breakout. It passed muster on just about every level. Good RS line. The stock held gains throughout the session. It didn't kind of go back and forth, and it just got up sharply, cross that pivot, and held that gain throughout the day. So strong buying demand throughout the day, and this one could see more upside. It was just a good quality breakout, and company seems well positioned for growth.
All right, and FMC, another one to watch in the chemicals agriculture group. Group 10 out of the 197 that we track. Mosaic, CF, NTR, a couple of the other names in the group that our audience perhaps is a little bit more familiar with, but FMC, the standout in the group today.
Yeah, so this is, with a relative strength rating of 77 headed into today, it probably wasn't showing as much leadership as some of your other fertilizer makers that that you just mentioned. But the numbers here were pretty good. FMC is basically, they make crop protection materials, insecticide, fungicide, herbicide, things like that, that helps farmers improve their crop yields. And so you had FMC the third straight quarter of of accelerating earnings and sales growth. Stock closed off highs today, but this was a pretty clear heavy volume breakout over that 114.51 pivot. So the buy point would be 114.61, and yeah, kind of in the process of breaking out of a long, sideways consolidation here. So yeah, I thought it was a great earnings report, and one of many strong performers in the agriculture group.
Yeah, a nice turnaround happening here for the company. Multiple quarters in a row now at this point of accelerating growth on both the top and bottom lines. And it looks like the estimates for both 2022 and 2023, pretty solid there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, it's a strong industry group, and we're familiar with a lot of the fertilizer names, like I said, the CF Industries and the Nutrien and all these. But FMC is it had a really good earnings report today, and like the look of the breakout.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ken. And thanks to everyone for tuning in. We will see you right back tomorrow morning on IABD Live. And we hope you join us. Coming up on Friday, our special guest will be Charles Harris. Always great to have him on the show. And then later that day, you can catch Justin and I on Barron's Live, chatting strategies for getting back into the market when you see conditions improving. And then Ken, you and Dave are going to have a webinar coming up on the 16th that's all about short selling. So as always, there's a lot going on for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be 1 week from today on February 16th. So we'll just get people comfortable with if they're wanting to make money on the short side. What kind of characteristics do you want to see in a stock? Do you want to be shorting the leaders in an industry group? Do you want to be shorting the laggards in the industry group? You think that answer might be obvious, but it's not to a lot of people out there. So all the ins and outs of shorting stocks. So it'll be a good webinar.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Catch all the details at investors.com/webinar. Thank you, Ken, and we'll see everyone back here tomorrow.